What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. AI is going crazy. Have you guys seen some of these new apps that AI is generating? Like you can create your own music. It started off with the Chat GPT thing. We could see that it could write, and and that was pretty cool. And then it was able to do the pictures and stuff like that. And then they started making some that could create music. But recently, there's one called Udio that like blown away. Check this out. Listen, it's all about the prompt, right? So, you prompt in. So I prompted in, um, write a hip hop song, right? That explains why people should subscribe to this channel. All right. It took me like literally 2 minutes, if that, a minute, really, just to write that prompt and listen to what it came up with.
Yo, hit that like, subscribe, don't miss this. Beach Office 365 on your wish list. Dropping tips that flip pro nativity statistics. Chill vibes, old school mix like it's 96-ish. 6-ish. Ride the waves of knowledge, it's a smooth trip. Learn to navigate your work, get the cool tips. Every upload's like a gold mine, real rich. So hit subscribe, elevate, make that swift click.
Oh, isn't that wild? That's just nuts. That is wild. Let's get into cryptocurrency. Just kind of give kind of an overcap. I know it's been a little while since I've done, an actual video in front of a computer. The last one I did, I was driving in my car. Let's take a look at some charts here. All right, so here is a logarithmic chart of Bitcoin, just to get a sense of where we are in the cycle, right? So if you see, here was the peaks of the 2021 cycle, right? You see here the 2017, 2018 cycle. So here's that. So basically, when we reach the top, is when we get into these red bands here. So we're still, down here at the green. We got a ways to go. We still got upside. Now, obviously, as you can see, diminishing returns, with this asset. And that's to be expected as it gets bigger. And that's what's happened since its inception. But when you look at, the price points of some of these bands, right here, let's see, just from right where we are here, the top here is, 186,000. I don't know if you can see that there. And I wish I had a better pointer here. The top part of this band right here, is 275,000. So that's to give you guys just a little bit of some context here of what we're looking at. If we come over to just the cryptocurrency charts, so I like to use CoinMarketCap, and we come over here, and so I know I'm not necessarily saying anything new, but obviously you guys know Bitcoin. that is my thing, right? I'm very big into Bitcoin. I do hold Ethereum as well. The other four things that I am keeping my eye on, and what what I mean, like I would recommend, right, is making sure you're at least looking into this, are these four categories here. All right, so for this bull run, this particular bull run that we are in, and that when we start to really hit those upper bands that I was just showing you in that logarithmic chart, is the meme coins, Solana ecosystem, gaming, and AI. Significance of meme coins. I mean, this really is what attracts the retail crowd to come in. You can't ignore them. All right. I like meme coins. I think they're fun as long as you know what you're doing with them, right? Solana ecosystem. This is another one that I think that you're starting to see more and more people are recognizing that, it's like Solana is the Ethereum of this cycle, right? So like the last cycle, Ethereum had its, come out, moment where it really just skyrocketed, right? And so people are now seeing the same thing happening with Solana. Gaming and AI, you cannot deny the fact that the gaming industry is absolutely enormous. All right, it's bigger than music and books combined. There is going to be a place for crypto and gaming, the marriage of the two that's going to happen. I think that we're so early, which games are going to make it, what aren't. It really is still just kind of a narrative, right? And it's driven by a lot of hype. Same thing with AI. All right. AI is really brand new. I mean, more so obviously than gaming. I mean, it is brand new. And I would say that there's going to be some type of marriage of AI and crypto. Who knows which ones are going to make it, which ones are scams, which ones are legit, but just aren't going to end up actually becoming a thing and will fizzle out in the next cycle. That's very possible. So when you're looking into these, just know that it's very risky. A lot of the gaming coins and a lot of the AI coins that are around this cycle will not be around next cycle. And that is just a fact. Don't get too married to a project, because every person that tells you about a particular gaming coin and an AI coin, they're going to tell you it's the greatest coin that was ever made, and they'll really believe it too, and they'll sound like such conviction, and they're not lying to you. They really believe it themselves, a lot of them. Okay, some of them are scammers and they're just lying, but the other ones, they mean well. But just know, when you get into these, it's highly speculative. We all know what this is just for fun. This is complete casino stuff. This, I think, has a lot more to it. Okay, this is very much like an Ethereum. Financial institutions are going to be getting into Solana. That's going to be the next big thing. So that's huge. But sticking with Bitcoin, and here's our chart. So I got a couple different lines here, really just areas of support and resistance that I put in. Basically, if you ask me what I think is potentially going to happen. And again, who knows, right? Some of you are going to be a little bit, I think, upset, with this, but let me just kind of give you sort of, if I draw what I think is going to happen, um, I think we may continue to come up to about the 69 area, and then I think we're going to have a pullback, and I think it's going to be relatively deep. Okay. And possibly it's going to come down to this 50 area. All right. I don't think it's going to go lower than that. Okay. Um, it could, I mean, it could come all the way down to, this 30 area, which was where during the last bull run, that's what happened, right? We came up here on this first leg, and then we had this large correction. Okay. And a lot of people made money during this correction here. They loaded up and they took this up to all-time highs of that cycle. All right. So we could go back down there. I think what happens is we do come up to this 69 area, and then we can't quite break through there. We start pulling back. We're going to come down to this 51, 52 area. We're going to have this bounce, and then that is when we're going to make our move. Okay, and then it's going to be off to the races. It's going to get really crazy here. Now, this line just represents kind of that $100,000 mark, all right? Because that's obviously a psychological, area that I just kind of marked it, to have. You may be wondering what this, line is. This goes all the way back down to the 2017 top of the bull run. And I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, this line, if anything, it's gonna be a form of resistance. But I also think it could potentially be the top of this cycle. Now, where it hits on that, who knows? I mean, if Bitcoin were to shoot up, well, it may only get to what, 107, 108. But, depending on the timeline, and how far we go out. Remember, I think fireworks are going to be happening in 2025. By the end of 2025, fall sometime in here, we hit this 100,000 area. All right, we're going to see a bit of a pullback, and then it could potentially do one last leg up. All right, so if it happens, let's say the summer of 2025, we're at 117. I mean, I do think, of course, my physical, I do think there's possibility it could go higher than that. But you may be wondering, like, Luke, man, like, Beach, this is not what we would expect from you. We thought you were more bullish on Bitcoin. I have thrown out about 170,000 would be like my guess. But I think a lot of people are expecting it to kind of go that high. And what I've learned from crypto is anytime people expect, when a lot of people are expecting it to go super high, like we're at a certain price point, like 150 plus, that's what you hear a lot of people talking about. You hear people talking about 250 plus. Bitcoin always seems to just surprise you and do not do what the masses are saying. So that's why I'm kind of going a little bit more conservative. I would not be surprised at all if this thing shoots up to 180. This thing could hit 250 on this cycle, and I would not be surprised at all. I know some people are saying much higher than that, even. I don't know about that, but with digital scarcity, again, and all the inflation problems that are happening all around the world, I wouldn't be totally shocked if this thing just absolutely rips our faces off and does things we never even thought. Because I do think Bitcoin is going to continue to surprise us and do things that we hadn't thought of. And there are more use cases being brought to Bitcoin with ordinals and ruins and stuff like that. So anything is anything is on the table. All right. Including, by the way, Bitcoin might not even hit or may just hit 100,000. And then that's it for this cycle. And then, we go back into a bear market. So, at any rate, I'm not trying to be bearish here. I'm just, throwing out basically an idea. And I'm curious to know what you guys think. So please comment down below. I'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.